Have you ever wondered how you can fly in your dreams? Let's find out how. Hi, this is Harold and welcome to The Sanctum. In this video, we shall be talking about a technique that you can use when you're dreaming to be able to take more control over your dream and to be able to shift between different planes when you're dreaming. We'll talk about that a lot more, so please do watch till the end. And if you're new to this channel, please remember to click the subscribe button and the bell icon and to like this video. Now, the first thing we need to understand is in order to take control of our dreams, we need to first of all become lucid. Okay, and I talk a lot more about lucid dreaming in the above video, so you can find that video above by clicking the link. So lucid dreaming is essentially when you become aware that you're dreaming so that you can start to take control of the dream. Okay, and this includes things like flying, making things appear, entering certain places, certain rooms, calling forth certain people, creating fireballs, and all these crazy things that you can do. Whatever you can think of, you can do. Okay, but what people don't understand is that there are varying degrees of lucidity that one may experience when dreaming. So sometimes you could experience a mild form of lucid dreaming. We call that mild lucidity. When you're mildly lucid, you're sort of aware that you're dreaming and that there's a dream narrative going on. However, you might not be able to fully take control of the dream. Although you're aware that you're dreaming, you're still following along in that dream narrative. But also, if you try to change things, they don't really change much, or strange things happen, meaning the opposite happens. So in other words, you're trying to let's say you're trying to make something appear. Let's say you're trying to make an apple appear, but instead an orange appears, or it's not as coherent as when you're fully lucid. So that goes into full lucidity. So when you're completely lucid, that's when you can take control over the dream fully. So in other words, if you want to fly, you can fly. If you want to walk through a wall, you can walk through a wall. If you say there's an apple here, there's an apple here, right? So that is what we call complete lucidity. So oftentimes when you're dreaming, there are times in which, especially if you use some of my techniques to, especially if you use techniques to extend the dream, you can find that link above to learn how to extend a lucid dream, and you experience a significantly long lucid dream, or what feels like a long lucid dream, you may begin to notice that sometimes you might experience mild lucidity and then complete lucidity and then return back to mild lucidity as you start to get caught up into a narrative, and then you might become lucid again. So like that, we've got this different, we may go in and out of levels of lucidity as we experience a lucid dream. So now let's talk a little bit more about flying. So when I first started lucid dreaming and I used to fly all the time, I noticed that there were certain dreams when I became lucid, right? And when I was fully lucid, I could do certain things, but I would try to fly and either I just won't fly, or I would end up doing these large bounces as if I was on the moon, jumping really high and then landing, like in the Matrix almost, when Neo jumps from one building to another in the training simulation, a bit like that. So in these instances, what we need to realize is that sometimes when we're dreaming, this plane that we're dreaming may take place in a collection of different planes. Okay, so now I speak more about the planes of reality in one of my previous videos, in one of my first videos actually, and I shall place a link above for you to find that video if you're interested in learning more about the planes of reality. But essentially, dreams can take place in many different planes. So for example, it can take place in the etheric, the astral, the mental, and the spiritual plane. Along those four planes, right? So the etheric is the closest to that of the physical, that which we are experiencing right now in waking reality, which is the most solid, right? So when you're having a dream in this etheric plane, things are still quite solid, not really solid. It's more fluid than in this physical reality, but it's a little bit fluid. So this is why if you try to fly, you might jump a little bit high, but not completely take off. Or one thing that I remember doing is trying to pass through a wall, and I wouldn't be able to pass through the wall. It would be like passing through really viscous jelly, and I'd have to use all my effort to get through it. Whereas if you're dreaming in the astral, it's much more subtle, it's much more fluid, it's very easy to go in and out of the wall, right? Very easy to pass in and out. So it depends on which plane that dream is taking place in. It depends on the vibration of that plane, the density of that plane, right? The more dense it is, the more like physical reality it is. The less dense it is, the easier it is for you to manipulate and do crazy things. And as you go higher and higher to the higher planes, you can do more crazy things or more abstract things. You can have experiences, more spiritual experiences which you can't even comprehend with the human mind when you go into the higher planes. But you can have these experiences, and I know I have, and many other people have, when they're dreaming, right? And this is because dreams may be taking place in some of the higher planes of reality. So how do we change which plane we are in? So now I'm going to share with you a technique which you can use to shift between these different planes of reality as you're dreaming. But first of all, you need to become lucid. So once you're lucid and you try to fly or try to do something, and you notice that you can't really change the dream, or you can't really pass through a wall or fly, it's likely that you're in a denser plane of reality. And it's very simple. All you need to do is just have the intention that you're becoming lighter, that your vibration is becoming higher and higher. And naturally, as you become lighter, you shift into a higher plane. So you move into the astral, and then immediately you should be able to fly. Try it out and see. It's quite interesting. Right? Everything that I share on this channel are things I've tried before. I don't just pull this out of thin air. But this is stuff that I've tried and know it works, at least for me. So give it a shot and let me know in the comment section below. So now it's a very simple technique. However, if you understand the mechanics, it makes sense. So now keep in mind that this model that I'm sharing with you to do with planes of reality and dreaming, be aware that that's just one system of dreaming. And there are many other ways of talking about the dream world, as well as mapping out the dream world. The Aztecs and the Toltecs have their own system. Carlos Castaneda has his own interpretation. Just like that, there are many different ways of modeling or mapping out the dream environment. Tibetans have another entire system which we'll get into later. So just keep in mind that this is just one way of looking at dreaming. But the important thing is the techniques work. Okay, these are techniques that you can use. Please let me know what you discover in your lucid dreaming explorations, and please remember to like this video. Please remember to subscribe to this channel. Please hit the bell icon, and I shall see you very soon. Thank you and take care.